we're coming live and direct at the Red Bull 2011 Records Yard Graffiti Comp. It was crazy. Each round was 12 minutes long, and we had some of Sydney's hottest graph artists do their thing one time for your mind.
Pick a random one. All right, the first one is Future.
So how was your night tonight? How'd you feel about performing in front of so many of your friends?
It was pretty unusual. Normally we paint with not many people around, so it was pretty different.
Yeah. And was there anyone around who you really look up to tonight?
Pretty much all the painters I've always looked up to, so yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking competing against guys who basically taught me how to paint.
And who are they?
I'd have to say Phipps, Puddle. Definitely always looked up to Cade, and yeah, all the Sydney original writers.
Is there such thing as a Sydney style?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah?
It's like based on just like traditional New York funk.
Yeah, right. And musically, what inspires you to paint?
Probably the Velvet Underground.
One, time. Make some noise for all the riders. All right, well, your topic, gentlemen, is chance.
Ema.
My name's Tim. All right, Fibs.
So you reckon you crumbled under pressure? Is that because you had friends in the audience, or?
It's because there's a very crazy Mexican here that knows how to paint very well. And
are you competitive?
it's the nature of this game. Graffiti scene is about being competitive. It's all about that. Okay, that's what it's all about. You have to hold your own, and yeah, I don't know. Like once again, the media and all these sorts of like companies are interested in what we do and this sort of scene, and it's becoming bigger and bigger. It's here to stay. It's not changing, and I'm very appreciative that it's like slowly becoming recognised as a genuine art form. Regardless of what people think, we'll do it anyway, and we'll continue to do it. But once again, it's for people to start acknowledging and seeing that there's a genuine respect and I don't know, appreciation in what we do. It's a good thing.
And so,
hopefully more will happen.
Do you think that the legal nature of graffiti is intrinsic to the culture?
Look, part of the power of what we do is about doing stuff on the street, and that will always continue.
You guys are gonna hate me, but the theme I picked is hope.
And Peke, the winner so far, is going to be represented in Melbourne. We just had a few questions to ask him on what is he thinking when he's doing his thing on the boards, no doubt. Now the first question is, how long have you been graph writing for?
A ver, ¿cuántos años estabas haciendo graffiti?
Tengo más de 20 años.
About 20 years? More than 20 years.
And where do you get your inspiration from? Like, for example... Yeah.
A mí, donde crecí, el barrio donde crecí, eso me ha inspirado todo mi trabajo.
His inspiration totally comes from where he grew up from, in Mexico, in the barrios, in his hood. That's where most of his inspiration comes from. Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between what he's doing here as graph writing and what he's doing back home in Mexico? Is there a difference in how he approaches everything? And
Personas que ya son más grandes y tienen respeto al trabajo.
Big difference, because obviously this is like an event. You don't have to worry about the police or just like other people around you in the same area, like in Mexico. It's like, yeah, it's more pressure and just like no police. It's more like a free event, and he can just sort of it's more relaxing for him. Yeah.
Now, with the thought process of his style, I noticed that he has some straight lines, but it's a very different style than the conventional, say maybe New York style graph that they might see. Where does that come from with his style? Where does he get that from?
His style? Where does he get it from? It says that he's very aware about the original New York style, but his style is more based on like the Chicano style and also from LA. That's where he grabs his stuff from, yeah.
And with some of your pieces that you do, do you get very political with them, or is it basically like mainstream, would you say?
Well, I pretty much know the answers to that because we get involved in a lot of that sort of topics. His style is very, very political. He loves to send a message with his style, always. It's not just about letters and graffiti. He's more an artist. He gets deeper than just letters and graffiti. But at the same time, you know, he loves his letters, he loves the original, the art form.
Me gusta más meter mensajes a veces en los trabajos, mi cultura.
Messages. He loves
de vez en cuando algo de
messages.
fantasía para alegrar el momento.
Yeah, it's totally about the message for him, more about than just like the old school way of graffiti. Yeah.
And the last question, because I know you're busy tonight, everybody wants to get a hold of you. But at the end of the day, is there any message that you would give to any kids out there, any young kids coming up, any aspiring artists out there? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Well, it says when he was growing up, there wasn't that much of an outlet for graffiti art, you know, where to learn it and where to grab the supplies. And nowadays, the kids should take advantage of like stuff like what's going on tonight. And the kids have more advantage on getting the supplies and finding the walls and finding the opportunities to express themselves through graffiti. And they should you know, consider themselves lucky and take advantage of that. You know, because when he was younger, he didn't have what the kids have today. More chances of doing their expressing their art form.
El respeto es lo primero que debe de aprender antes de empezar a pintar.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like respect should be the first lesson in graffiti art because you get a lot of hard heads, you know, sort of competing or whatnot. And he says that, you know, the first lesson is respect one another, respect other people's art. That's his first lesson that should be learned by the kids.
Well, there you got it. Some words of wisdom from a man right now that is taking a competition. He's going to go to Melbourne to represent, no doubt. Peke, much respect. Thanks for coming down. Much respect. For real. Nice one.
Peace.
This is K-Note, Street TV, and we out. Red Bull 2011, Records Yard. We out. Red Bull.